So this first one is the tool that you're going to use when you're moving stuff around. You know, if you select a layer and you have this tool selected, move it around, and that is that. Pretty straightforward. Second one, by the way, if there's a little arrow like this, you just click and hold and it gives you the options. So this is a marquee tool, and it comes with a few different shapes that you can use. So this is what you're going to use when you want to make a selection that is just a square, and then you can do a whole bunch of stuff from there. We'll get into that in later videos. So that's the marquee tool, and you can use a circle, and it's just to make a selection. From there you can delete in this selection, you can color this selection in, you can fill it, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. This is the Lasso Tool. This is just another selection making tool. So the Lasso Tool, the polygonal tool, I hope I said that right. I paused because I didn't want to mess it up. And the magnetic lasso tool. So these are all just selection making tools. The lasso tool is basically a free form. It allows you to make whatever kind of selection you want. The polygon one is basically you're going to click, 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 you know, pretty straightforward. And then there's the magnetic tool, which should detect the edges of things like this. And just assist you to try and make very basic selections quicker. This is the magic wand tool. Again, really simple tool. You can also right click when you have any selection tool, and it'll let you select by color range. And I could select that blue, click OK, and it'll select all the color that is blue. Next one is cropping. It's pretty basic. It's just going to let you crop an image. So yeah, that's cropping. I'm sure you've heard of a crop tool before. This is a color selection tool, the eyedropper tool. That'll let you really quickly sample colors. The rest of the ones here you probably will never use, so I'm not even going to bother with those. This is the spot healing brush tool, the healing brush tool, patch tool. Content aware you'll probably never use. Red eye tool probably you'll never use, but that's self-explanatory. Out of these, the spot healing tool is the one you're going to use most often. That'll be used to remove blemishes and stuff like that on a basic level. The brush tool is used for like 1,000,000 different things in Photoshop, but basically at its bare minimum, it's a brush. So yeah. You can obviously adjust the hardness and whatnot of brushes. I'll have a whole video on brushes. The clone stamp tool. This will let you, like if we, actually what I did with this image, there was a tree here and there's a tree here, and I clone stamped them out. It just lets you take a part of an image from here and, you know, put it on another portion of the image. It's pretty amazing, this tool, and it's what most people use when they're trying to take things out of images. Combination of clone stamping and brushing. History brush tool and art history brush tool I never have used in my life. Eraser tool, pretty self-explanatory, works the same as brushes except it's going to erase things for you. Gradient tool, paint bucket tool, 3D material drop tool, which you'll never use, which I have never used either. Paint bucket tool, pretty simple. It's just going to fill a color for you. Gradient tool is going to make a gradient. It went from blue to white because that's the colors I have selected down here. This is sharpening right here, smudging and blurring. I mean, they're useful tools. They have their applications for sure. Sharpening you would definitely use when you want to just sharpen a really specific portion of an image, like the eyes, for example, or something like that. Dodge tool, burn tool. You probably have heard people talk about dodging and burning. Basically, they either make the image lighter or darker. They're used to bring out highlights and accentuate certain parts of photographs. It's used a lot in portrait photography. The pen tool, the infamous pen tool. This is used to, again, to make selections. But the difference with the pen tool is you can actually, make curves. Yeah, I mean, that's all we'll go into now. There'll be a whole other video on the pen tool. Text tool, pretty basic, lets you type. Yeah, lets you type. Path selection tool and direct selection tool. I'll explain those in another video. Shapes. This is pretty self-explanatory. Lets you make shapes and it'll automatically fill it with this color that's selected. There's a variety of different shapes. The hand tool. This lets you just, I believe the shortcut is H. So if I'm zoomed in here, I have the cursor selected right now. If I select the hand, it lets me just move the image around to, rather than zooming out. Like if you're zoomed really close in and you're doing something, you can just move around like that rather than zooming out each time. By the way, the keyboard shortcut to zoom out on Mac is Command minus and Command plus. Command plus, Command minus. Which is this tool right here, the magnifying glass. And this is your foreground and background color. This is what's going to be the information that's used when you have the gradient. Like if I go up here and I make another gradient, it'll be black to white. And these are also going to be really important when we get into masking and brushes. So anyway, that is the toolbar in Photoshop. Very basic. There obviously are a whole ton more of controls and buttons and things that look very daunting, but I just wanted to go basically and just show you what these tools are, just so you know that, oh yeah, clone stamp, brush, spot healing. Otherwise you might never even bother to use these tools because you don't know what they are. And there'll be videos that will go into further detail on pretty much all of these tools. I don't know why I keep doing that. Obviously I know that I'm not moving a layer. So yeah, there you go. That's the first video. Those are the basics of those tools. They're not the basics. Those are the names of those tools. And we'll get into more detail on how to use them in future videos. Thanks for watching this tutorial, guys, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any in the future.